What up? We're back. Ignore the dryer.
Ignore the dryer, because it's been 3 weeks for a lot of reasons. Number one, I died. Number two, I got resurrected, so I'm alive again.
In reality, he went off to a cursed place known as Virginia.
Yes, I went to Virginia. I had alcohol. It was fun. I got told I drank more than I should have. So...
He texted me that night.
Yeah. It was fun. It was like 2 a.m.
It was basically him trying to ask, hey, what should I do for after that? And all I can say is, dude, I don't drink. You're asking for advice from probably the least equipped person that you know.
Well, if I ever become an alcoholic, you can blame my cousin. It was like, I'll buy you some whiskey, why not? And I did, and I got told I drank more than I should have. And then I saw one of my family members I haven't seen in like a decade. So that was pretty cool. But overall, Virginia was fun. I now have a video of my dad dancing to Wannabe. I don't know the artist's name.
Who?
Wannabe. I don't know the song. I'm pretty sure it's a song name, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what song that could be.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Oh, wasn't that the Spice Girls thing?
Spice Girls, yeah. It was funny. And then on the plane ride back, I played on my Nintendo Switch. It died on the plane. Like it ran out of battery.
So, for me, my week was basically having to deal with the Mario movie.
And yeah, this is our first post-Mario movie.
So if you don't know, I work in a movie theater. And that might sound fine and all, but the Mario movie, very popular.
Scored the biggest opening for any anime movie ever, and is now the highest grossing video game movie of all time.
That's not much of a shocker, really.
I mean, I didn't expect it. I knew it was going to become like the biggest video game movie ever, but I didn't expect it to be that big.
It's beaten out the last biggest 5-day weekend, which was, if I remember correctly, Transformers, like one of the Transformer movies back in 2009. But the thing about that is, there was a lot of people who come to watch that movie, and my theater decided to not only start showing it every hour on the hour. On opening weekend, on Saturday, they didn't just stop at every hour on the hour. They had it every 45 minutes.
Big movie. Capitalizing success. And I tried to see it in that theater, but all the showtimes were sold out or fully booked.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
So I saw it in cinema. Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched the Mario movie, by the way. It was epic.
I have not gone around to watching it, but we are able to talk about it, yes.
I could not stop laughing at it, and using my stupidly smart nerd brain, I noticed every single reference in the movie.
That's not as hard as you think, as a Mario fan.
Even non-Mario references, like Nintendo shit. Overall, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Is it Illumination's best movie?
No.
Sure. Well, I don't know.
I'ma still give that to the original Despicable Me.
I mean, they played a billion trailers before the movie started. Like, bam, they played...
To be fair, though, I haven't watched it, so I can't tell.
Well, at least for my showing, they played the trailers for Transformers, the new one.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Elemental from Pixar. Spider-Verse 2.
By the way, I saw like the weirdest post about that. I don't remember if it was a video or like an actual post, but someone was like talking about like how the movie was too straight for its own good, and I'm like, what?
Ninja Turtles.
Like, someone was actually arguing, saying that this should have been like the gayest movie that they've made. Like, everything is. What are you even on about? I don't get it.
They're saving that for
like maybe there's something I'm missing, but I honestly cannot tell you.
Yeah. Animated Ninja Turtles. They showed Trolls 3, which I had to remember is existing for some reason.
Yeah, I've had to walk in on that trailer so often.
I know DreamWorks has been on the way shooting the last 2 movies, but this is one of them.
Thing is, DreamWorks, like, the way they do shit, it's deliberately, like, sometimes they'll make movies for some people, and then sometimes they'll just make movies that'll make money from little kids.
Pretty sure the last Trolls movie was affected by COVID.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this was a 2020 movie.
The other, like, movie that they have is this one that, like, is about a Kraken?
Yeah. Rudy Gilman, I think it's called. Rudy Gilman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't watch, like, movie trailers on my free time. I work in a movie theater. I really could not care less. I say that because, like, part of my job involves delivering food, and that means I'm constantly walking in on trailers. So I watch that there. It's how I know that they decided to, like, replace Clark with Kara in the new Flash movie, which I'm honestly still shocked that it's being made, period, just because of Ezra Miller.
And then they showed the trailer for, what was it called? The next Illumination movie. It's called Migration. It's about ducks. It looks like an Illumination movie.
I'll say this about, like, that whole Flash thing. On one hand, it's an interesting twist, but on the other hand, I don't know how what it means that, like, they decide to say that, like, Kara, who is always considered, like, a teenager by the time Krypton gets destroyed, gets immediately captured by the government and...
I don't know, they're rebooting the DC universe after this movie, and Aquaman 2.
I'm not shocked.
After James Gunn came on board, he was like, okay, let's reboot the entire thing. I think they've stated this movie will reset the continuity, or something. Oh well, I probably won't watch it.
I won't watch it for one major reason, and that's because I have zero faith in anything DCEU. Like, sure, you can show me interesting things. That doesn't change the fact that in general I have zero faith in you.
Yeah, I think the only DCEU movie I've, like, genuinely enjoyed was Shazam, the first one. I've seen Batman vs. Superman. That was Batman vs. Superman. I've seen the original Wonder Woman. It was decent, but I didn't, like, enjoy it.
I enjoyed it, but the second one was apparently so bad that I didn't even bother looking into it.
Yeah, my dad kept telling me how bad it was.
All I know is that she basically deliberately allowed her dead boyfriend to possess a man to, like, yeah, that was it. That was weird.
And what was the other one? Justice League, the theatrical cut.
Yeah, I think I've made my stance pretty clear on Joss Whedon stuff, so... And I think I don't know if I've made it clear, but my stance on Zack Snyder stuff is even lesser of an opinion.
And then,
like, Joss Whedon still gets work, even though he was a tremendous dick, because in Hollywood, being a complete asshole isn't something that'll immediately get you fired. It'll make finding jobs a lot harder, but it's not like an end gamer.
And Shazam, and
So
I think I'd gift after that.
that's why I'm not shocked that like occasionally he'll find work, even though like a bunch of stuff has come out against him just on how he's mistreated his the people who's worked under him. Looking.
And some other somewhat related tangent to DC's parent company, Warner Brothers. HBO Max is rebranding to just Max on
Which
May
sounds
23rd.
really fucking stupid.
Yeah, on May 23rd. Which, as Steven said, is stupid. And the Warner Brothers spokesperson said it's to help appeal to more family audiences because HBO is more associated with adult content, like Game of Thrones.
Excuse me, but I think I just heard something really fucking stupid.
Why?
Did you just say family content?
Like, they're trying to appeal to more family audiences. HBO's probably associated with adult-oriented shows like Game of Thrones.
Okay. Yeah, I did mishear. Good.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that sounds really bizarre what you just stated to me.
And I know Sesame Street's on HBO, but like, come on, people only watch it for Game of Thrones. And even then, that show fell off hard last season. I don't know, I haven't watched it, I'm just repeating what I've heard.
Oh no, it fell off.
Yeah.
Like, downright to the fact that like, even after deciding to throw away literally every bit of foreshadowing to make Arya being the one that kills the Night King instead of Jon, even though like everything was like hinted at to him.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that they I don't know, they made that final battle last only one episode, right? Like between the Night King and everyone else.
Yeah.
And they shot it in a way that's so dark. It's like apparently really fucking hard to even keep track of what's going on.
Fun. Ugh.
Also, the story decisions were just baffling.
Apparently, they just shot multiple endings to prevent spoilers from leaking out, and they picked the worst possible one to make canon.
The thing is, everyone kind of agrees. We all know why they did what they did. The reasoning is they just wanted to hurry the fuck up so they can go off to their Star Wars project.
Yeah, and then that got canned.
Presumably because of just how shit that finale was.
Yeah.
I will always find it funny that finale just straight up decimated literally any sort of like pop culture relevance Game of Thrones ever had.
It's something. Speaking of Star Wars, Celebration was pretty recent, and they announced 3 new movies from 3 different directors. One has the director of the upcoming Indiana Jones movie about the Dawn of the Jedi. One has Dave Filoni himself in the director's chair, wrapping up the story that was set in The Mandalorian. And another has some person I don't know the name of saying a story 15 years after Episode 9 about rebuilding a new Jedi Order. If it's called Episode 10, I will shoot myself.
I feel like they really should just avoid that era.
Like post Episode 9.
Yeah, anything related to like, I'd say the next 70 years after that era. It's not like it's not uncommon for them to just jump massive amounts of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be 15 years after Episode 9.
Yeah, I feel like it's way too close, especially because people really, really have mixed feelings on that era.
The Dave Filoni one is set I'm pretty sure it's set between 6 and 7. And the other one is gonna be like 25,000 years after. Well, I don't know if that's the exact number, but like a long time before the prequels. How the Jedi were made, the origins. Are we finally going to see Darth Bane recanonized outside of Clone Wars?
Well, since Clone Wars is canon, it's already canon.
Yeah, but I mean like re-canonized. Well, I mean,
you said the origins of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, Darth Bane isn't the origins of the Sith.
Yeah.
He's the origins of the new Sith, remember?
Right, and he established the rule of 2.
You know, like, after the Jedi basically wiped out the original Sith, he was, like, the last survivor, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, by the time of Bane, the Jedi were already a thing.
Yeah. It's funny how, the rule of 2 somehow lasted so long, even though it would have been super easy to knock out 2 Sith right then and there.
That's because they spent all their time literally hiding. Like, in between that rule of 2 thing, they were, like, found out because, you know, Yoda knew about the whole rule of 2 thing.
Yeah.
Always 2 and all that. But at the same time, they successfully, like, by that point, they successfully hid the idea that, like, they were all dead already.
And then Darth Maul happened. Alright. If any post-Episode 9 movie has Palpatine in any sick way, shape, or form, I am going to...
What about Rey Palpatine?
It doesn't count.
I know.
I mean, Sheev himself. If he is even mentioned, I will shove an entire sock down my throat.
Pretty sure Thrawn is coming back, so he's probably gonna have to be mentioned at least some way.
Thrawn... I'm not sure. I don't know if that was the post-sequel movie or the, Mandalorians.
I think Thrawn had to do with the Ahsoka show, I think?
Ahsoka, yeah. I know he's in there.
Oh yeah, well, let's speak of something we have less mixed opinions of. I actually haven't seen the Marvels trailer, but I have seen the Secret Invasion trailer.
I actually haven't seen the Marvels trailer either. Funnily enough, I've been meaning to, and I just...
Actually, wait, we can probably just do it right now.
Sure, let's... Live reaction, let's go.
I keep forgetting to do so because I have better things to do.
Marvels trailer. Okay. You guys are just gonna have to listen in.
Captain Rambo? What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter. Gonna get you some readings, Harry. Hello? Hello?
Captain Rambo?
Yeah, that sounds about an accurate, like, reaction to that.
Where's Captain Rambo?
What?
So, from my understanding, the plot is just that every time they use their powers, they switch places.
Honestly, that's a cool premise. No, that was like the perfect way to stop, really.
It froze.
that like reaction of walking on like a fan, like fucking room like that. That's perfect, honestly.
Come on.
Because that were the actual reaction.
What the?
Okay, yeah, that's still good.
Studios Marvel. Oh, we're getting copyrighted.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And I can totally show you. Hi. Where's our doctor? Wherever you were.
Oh yeah, the cat. Goose, I think it's in there.
Yeah. I do wonder, like, how the entanglement works. Because,
Cat Army.
like, there's technically no...
We're a team. Oh, no, we're not a team.
They're a team.
I was gonna say, because until this movie, there's technically no real power connection. Captain Marvel got hers from the Space Stone in this universe.
Yeah.
Monica got hers from Scarlet Witch's bullshit. I remember correctly.
Something like that.
I could be forgetting shit.
Yeah.
And Kamala Khan's got her because, well, they basically all but say she's a mutant.
Yeah.
There's technically more, like, reasons to connect them in the comics because, you know, Miss Marvel started out as Miss Marvel because she inherited the powers of Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel who died from, I think it was cancer.
Yeah.
And Monica was essentially the second, Captain Marvel. It was weird.
Yeah.
She technically has a better name, which is Photon, I think. And Miss Marvel started out as a fangirl who essentially took up the name because Captain Marvel had already abandoned it by then, and then Captain Marvel said, "Okay, yeah, you can have it." There's no real connection on power-wise there either, but there is a reason why they all were called what they were.
Yeah.
In this one, I think I heard someone say that Kamala's seemingly going to be using the name Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
But the name Miss Marvel actually doesn't happen in this universe, so is that just her fan name for herself?
Oh.
And that's not even getting into the fact that I don't think Monica has a name yet either.
I don't know.
Maybe the Marvels is just implying that it's going to be a team that's named after Captain Marvel.
Probably.
They're going to come up with a new name for Monica involving Marvel. I have no idea. Either way, it looks better than basically most of the stuff that Captain Marvel has been in so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because her having to interact with someone who is a fangirl seems to be something that'll actually be fun to do.
Yeah.
That means that this is the second time Captain Marvel has shown more humanity than in her film when interacting with someone younger than her. First time was with Peter, remember?
Yeah.
That's actually a good characterization trait. She's walking around everyone except for children.
Yeah. Well,
that trailer was good. Secret Invasion was even better, honestly, that trailer. Because that reminded me a lot. That trailer reminded me a lot of the Winter Soldier era espionage Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, that either way, neither of those kind of even track to the best Marvel trailer.
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse. What do you think of that one?
I like the therapy scene.
I feel bad for that guy. Clearly, he's the one Peter that basically didn't go through the whole
Let me guess. Your Uncle Tony.
Either he did go through it and he got over it through learning about psychology, or he didn't, and he's just the poor fucker who has to deal with that.
Imagine it's a mix of both. Speaking of movies, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie got officially dated for once for October 27th of this year.
Do you believe it?
Yeah. They come out and said it's going to be a simultaneous theatrical release and on Peacock same day. Can't wait for all the Five Nights at Freddy's kids to storm the theater with full costumes. It's going to be fun.
Well, let's have a gentle minion style thing going on.
I was going to wear... I own a suit now thanks to the wedding, so I'm just going to go to the movie theater and wear that.
I'm not going to do it because I don't really own a suit. Well, I do, but the suit pants got ripped and I'd rather not have to buy a new one.
I will go with the suit. It will be the funniest thing ever. Seeing Frederick Fitzgerald Fazbear scream. Seeing everyone in the audience scream, was that the bite of age 7?
I fucking dare Markiplier to do that during, like,
If they don't reference MatPat in there, I'm gonna riot.
They don't reference MatPat. What's the point? He's basically the series Ghost Rider. Am I right?
Yeah, at this point.
I saw so many people give MatPat shit for his most recent
Theory.
timeline, especially the final part. And honestly, all I can say is, you guys realize just how much of a contradiction this entire fucking series is. Honestly, the fact that he had to cut corners to try and get to anywhere makes perfect sense. Like, I'm not going to defend it and say it was a perfect theory. I myself have some issues with it. But at the same time, let's be honest here, there's no way to get an actual perfect timeline with this shit.
Even then, there's no...
And the movie's almost certainly going to fuck it up even more.
I was going to say, there's no guarantee that the movie will be insane. But knowing how much of a mess it is, you probably will, just for shit sales. Another... I don't know.
I guess I could talk about the Battle Network Legacy Collection now.
Oh.
So, if you didn't know, the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection had recently come out. And yes, I have in fact bought my copy. Digitally, unfortunately, because I couldn't find a physical copy.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the availability to actually go through, like, the pre-order process of, like, picking up and all that. So far I'm enjoying my time. And I like the little details in there. For instance, they deliberately decided to keep some of the, like, more infamous, like, typos because, let's be honest here, they're memes.
What a meme.
Like, if fucking Let's Go Land disappeared, at least a few people were gonna complain about it.
Yeah.
And that ain't even getting into, like, the fact that, some people are complaining about the fact that they put a warning for, like, insensitivity on that. Yeah, obviously. Some of the shit that was capable of being done in the 2000s will be offensive. That's just kind of a given.
Yeah. I mean, recently I've been playing through, I've been going back into Persona 4 Golden on Xbox Series S.
And anyone who's ever played Persona 4 Golden in, like, recent years will tell you, man, that game,
yeah, there was some aspects I was like, yeah, I could tell this came out in, like, 2008, 2012.
like, just the rampant amount of homophobia out of Yosuke's mouth.
Yeah, it's 2023. But, you know, the kids will use it as an old game. No, actually
No, they actually won't. Well, why do you think the fucking, like, warning is there? People are gonna complain if they didn't.
Anyway, I'm actually very over-leveled. It is kind of funny. The entire game is a joke. I read the XP meter. I will just say that. I'm telling you what can be our little secret.
You did what?
I read the XP to give more XP.
Ah.
I also I dabble around in the difficulty sliders. If you enable retries in battle, then that means it'll give you a prompt that if the protagonist's health runs to 0, then it'll say you want to continue this battle, and then everyone gets fully healed, and whatever enemy is there has the same amount of health. I also have like 1 million yen.
Fair enough.
I'm only in August, and I'm close to maxing like 3 of the social stats already. Turns out those jobs can be really helpful for that.
Yeah.
And I've also decided to fuck around and do Margaret's social link for once.
How's that going, bro?
I had to doodle fusion patterns.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something you deliberately have to, like...
Fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm on rank 7 with her now.
Nice.
So.
To be fair though, some of these combinations are actually really good. like Trumper with a bunch of like.
Yeah. I recently learned that Almighty is like the one medic type that Golden has are not walking.
Yeah, that's why like
Yeah.
that's why I was debating like trying so hard to get for like the Jack Frost of Megiddo with Megiddo because Almighty just straight up cuts through them like butter.
Yeah, it's easy peasy.
Especially when they start reflecting everything.
Yeah. Wait, they start reflecting?
Yeah.
Damn. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, like after a certain point, you're basically conditioned to always have someone with Megidolo on.
I'm already at rank 8 with Marie. Marie. Fucking. Playing some Mori. I can't pronounce it anything properly now. I'm already at rank 8 with Tsunori Mitch.
Her name is Marie.
Marie. Rank 9 with Yosuke. And that's all I know off the top of my head. I hung out with Marie like 3 days in a row, and they all ranked up, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
Probably had an A on her kind of persona.
Yeah, I didn't.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm also trying to max the Adachi rank because he's funny.
You can only really get to 6 before you.
Yeah, I know. That's how it works. Adachi. Fuck. He's the Joker. He was an incel.
So the Joker.
Yes. Dachi. What else have I think I'm fairly high with GA and Yukiko. I don't know. I took the hospital job. I hate the social life there.
For what's your major reason for hating her?
I just don't like her.
Fair enough.
I have consumed copious amounts of Aya dishes. I randomly level up my courage, but by just picking an answer I didn't even know would raise courage. And I was like, your courage leveled up, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm at Nanajo social to the point where I need like high level expression. I'm like, well, time to translate to hell and back. I don't remember which part-time job raises expression.
Yeah.
I also started dabbling around in popular bitch that ditches school social link. I did not like that one.
Aya Bihara?
Yeah, that one. I don't like her. And I heard you can actually break her social link, and that was fun. I just like the one I actually went to the Madama Tensei wiki and looked up, because I don't want to break it, so I just avoid. I don't care for that character. I'm just gonna say.
Fair enough.
I just look at which one's not gonna break this social link, and yeah.
I remember there used to. It's technically still up, but like it's not really active. There used to be a Persona 4 the animation abridged, and like so what happens is when it came to the whole Ko-Ai episode, like Yosuke like constantly making her to Nanakami like, yo, I heard you got a girlfriend. Who is it? And then like a phone call comes in and like she starts yelling at him and they realize it's Aya Bihara and is like, my condolences. I think he actually just says Aya Bihara before that, but like, yeah.
I'm trying to go out.
You're not the only person who hates her.
I'm trying to go and not romance Aya Bihara because I've said the reason already.
It doesn't help that there's significantly much better girls.
Yeah. Last time, in my first place, I did Yukiko. This time I'm probably gonna end up going to GA. It's something different. It's really gonna be hard to say what's something to go to the Sonic route. Like that.
For which one?
For all of them.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'll say this, luckily you never have to platonic Marie. Like I mentioned, she's quite literally always...
I'm now doing a platonic Marie on Spike.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I actually have more achievements now than I ever did in my Vita run.
Yeah, but the reason I say that is because she quite literally has her love stuff, if you do accept her love, always happens like independent of what actual relationship you have.
Yeah. Pretty sure I actually...
Also, if you actually do romance her, her dialogue slightly changes at the end. Because there's like this animated cutscene at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does change slightly depending on if you have a relationship with Marie.
Pretty sure now the achievements I've heard is now higher than I got from the Vita. Like, I have fighting a battle in Boston, which apparently I never did in the Vita.
Weird.
Registering a skill card, which apparently I never did in the Vita, for somehow. Switching personas 5 times in one battle, which was pretty easy. Doesn't have to be 5 different personas. Buy a persona from a compendium. Compendium. I somehow never did that. I don't know what I was on.
It really does show to me why you struggled so much with the Vita version.
Win a prize from the vending machine. Exploit. Okay, that's natural. Buy an item from the capsule machine, which you have to do when it's raining. Drink the coffee, which I never got. So I didn't even know you could drink coffee. Buy 5 things from the home shopping program, which I never did, somehow. Rate number 1 in your class in the exam, because I'm a smart guy. And that's it. So, not trying to story related ones. That's 19 out of 49 achievements.
Nice.
What the?
Like usual.
Oh. What else has happened? It's been 3 weeks. Oh, I watched My Neighbor Totoro for the first time.
How was it?
Pretty good. It was actually the first Studio Ghibli film I watched in English dub. Because my sister didn't want to read. Previously, I watched them all in Japanese with English subtitles, but I don't think it affected my enjoyment. But I still liked it. A lot. And when I rewatched them this year, the other ones this year, I'm gonna try out the dub to see if they do affect my enjoyment. How did that not happen? You just don't have to wait to reload your cards.
The downside is I've, like, with so many slides, I've basically lost a good chunk of my cards. I really hate the fact that unlike Sora, fucking leave me alone, you dick.
Is there a way to heal?
Ooh.
Easy. Top 10 easiest bosses in history. Kingdom Hearts. Not and some refill. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more epic stuff.
Jafar Genie.
Well, in terms of
I forgot that they actually do get to keep these.
in terms of random gaming news, I don't know. MultiVersus is shutting down for like half a year, and then relaunching in 2024. Because they realized they needed that much time to balance Pickle Rick once he gets added. That's a joke.
Honestly, don't know if that actually is a joke or not.
It's the Pickle Rick part is a joke. The game is going offline for like half a year. Like, beta's ending.
I like how you say beta's ending. Like one of the most common criticisms of the game isn't like the fact that it just doesn't have anything going on.
Yeah. Well, they're like, our open beta is an important learning tool for us, so we're going to take the game offline to help improve the servers, and add more characters in the stages, and modes, and the needed stuff. Offline functionality still works. Will still work. Well, at least the game's not completely dead in the water. And now they need all the time to balance Pickle Rick, because he's going to be the most overpowered character in the man. Funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry. But apparently something funny I learned about that game is that like someone just detailed a bunch of info they got from somewhere, and someone said that after the game got announced, Paramount like contacted Warner Brothers and said, "Hey, if you want to use SpongeBob in this game, you can."
Fucking
No joke.
They just said, "Okay, we've completely given up. Here, do this."
Yeah, if you want.
You know, just get around to it if you can.
Like,
It's not like we want to be in a game that's like really successful.
hey, I mean, if it does happen, we can finally have a Nickelodeon versus Cartoon Network fighting game. Kinda.
I mean, to be fair, it's only SpongeBob, but then again, so Nickelodeon does that.
Yeah. And it could open the door for more Nickelodeon characters.
Has he emerged
Proving
from the realm of
that they
darkness?
really don't care for All-Star Brawl.
His existence,
R.I.P.
it was once doubled in the darkness.
Eh.
Fascinating. That's why you mistook him for the
Apparently
superior.
Sony Interactive approached them and asked, "Can you add Spider-Man? But he has to be exclusive to PlayStation versions." And they're like, "No."
What I want to know is why he
Fucking
appeared here
Sony.
in Castle Oblivion.
Even though I'm sure Spider-Man would require
His
more
existence
negotiations
resonates
from
with that of
Marvel.
another hero. Sora is in the castle.
Sora.
He arrived earlier. Martin is already using Nominee's unique powers to meddle with Sora's heart. Without even bothering to consult us. It seems he desperately wants the Keyblade Master for himself. What a foolish plan.
They're also working on adding
Sora's is not such an
Marceline
interesting
from Adventure Time,
The entity that
Samurai
holds
Jack,
you down
Powerpuff Girls, all as
is
one
the hero
character,
of darkness.
and Mordecai from regular show. And apparently, they thought about adding Master Chief, but they haven't approached Microsoft about it yet. It'd be funny.
Okay. Well, I think we have more than enough time to continue.
Yeah. And also and apparently there's a list suggested by random devs. One of them is the Grim Reaper from Billy and Mandy.
So, just make this into Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion.
Yeah. But good. But polished. I watched a couple episodes of the show on the plane ride back home.
How was it?
Unhinged.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was like 5 hours long.
As a reminder, this controller is apparently running low on battery, or the other one, I forgot. Is it possible to tell?
Yeah, that's full charge.
Okay, yeah, it's the other one.
Alright. It was like a 5-hour flight, so I watched it during then. I downloaded it on HBO Max ahead of time. And my sister was right next to me. Apologies. My sister was right next to me watching 5 hours of Bob's Burgers. Finally converted to the light side.
Good to hear.
Man, this is just like that time.
No, it isn't.
Apparently they also want to include Ben 10, but they think the concept would be really difficult to pull off because of its alien switchers. Which aliens would they choose? How many would they include?
Pretty sure Core the artist is basically given the exact formula for what you need to use.
And that's about it. I still think the SpongeBob scenario is really funny. Throw in Mickey Mouse and we can have all the big three children's networks in one game. I say that as if they'll use Mickey Mouse as a Disney character.
You say like Disney whatever allow Mickey Mouse to be used in anything other than a Disney product?
That's true. If anything, if Disney goes on board with MultiVersus, I could see them being okay with Marvel, Star Wars, and 20th Century properties. Not so sure about Disney or Pixar properties specifically. And that said, my hopes for Mr. Incredible are still out there. Moving on.
Take this!
What's happened?
Did I actually get around to actually talking about my opinions on, like, more in depth on my opinions on the Battle Legacy Collection?
Not yet.
Okay, so there's a couple things that happens on with this collection. For instance, I'm pretty sure I talked about the Buster Max model running, which I haven't used yet because I haven't needed to. But I love the little details, like on the net navy of Mega Man in the title screen. Like I mentioned some of the stuff already to you, where it was like they'll have unique dialogue depending on the time of day. It'll also like have dialogue depending on what happened in the game you're playing currently.
Yeah.
Other things, if you have the humor, like the humor thing, I forgot what humor tech. I forgot what it is in Battle Network, but like in the Battle Network series and Star Wars series, they have this thing where like if you have this, I'm pretty sure it's programmed for starting with 3. I don't know if 1 or 2 has it. Where normally if you press the L button, you will either communicate with Lan or Mega Man, like for hints at what you're meant to do next. But with this, when you do it, what happens is instead you start getting jokes. And when you have it, the Mega Man in the title screen starts acting appropriately too. So yeah, all that was pretty cool.
Interesting.
They also have quite a bit of the art. They even have Operation Shooting Star art in the gallery and stuff like that. The music is there, and in general, it's just a very good collection of basically most information related to Battle Network.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom now.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. They dropped one last trailer before the game came out,
and it's the one that basically everyone said, "Oh, thank God that it's not like DLC," even though that entire mentality was always fucking stupid.
Yeah. I saw some people like, oh, maybe they'll do a full-blown direct on this. But personally, given what Nintendo's showing, I think they're trying to show off as little as possible when the game comes out.
Which, is actually smart, meaning that they've learned more than Hollywood on this.
Yeah. These people, they showed a bare minimum, enough to differentiate from Breath of the Wild.
But it was necessary.
For the most part. They're leaving everything to be discovered by the players once the game drops. They
mostly just kind of gave hints at what's going to happen in the story.
I see people simping over the new version of Ganondorf that happened.
Rehydrated Ganondorf.
I don't know how to feel about it.
The thing is, some people pointed out that the new version of Ganondorf looks exactly like how some people were speculating Ganondorf would look like. Also, what doesn't help is the fact that Matt Mercer's voicing him.
Even better. I also saw this tweet pretty recently.
This man just watching Scott the Wise.
Yeah, retweeted by Scott himself. The original poster said they just pulled out a 2DS just to take the picture. They actually liked the movie. You know those memes where people just pull out a phone and or something, going boring ass something, just play an episode of Family Guy. Man, boring ass YouTube channel.
So, yeah. What actually is your opinion on the Mario movie?
It's a good movie. 8 out of 10 movie. Yes, I have low standards. I noticed every single reference. I'm gonna watch it again.
No, I'm talking about the story or
Story is generic as fuck, but I do not care.
Honestly, I think it was a smart decision to sideline Luigi like they did, if only just because of the fact that if they didn't, they'd be getting shit for how they treat Peach.
Yeah.
And if they went any further with Peach, they'd be given shit for how they treated Peach. Generally, Peach was kind of a no-win situation.
I think that...
But having her be basically Mario's mentor in this world, because, yeah, it makes sense that someone who's lived there their entire life would understand what the fuck they're meant to do.
I am of the opinion that Chris Pratt did a good job as Mario.
Yeah, that's... some people don't have that opinion, but a lot of people do.
I think the Brooklyn accent kind of fits. I noticed Charles Martinet in the movie twice.
Yeah.
As some guy playing an arcade with the original Mario voice, and as Mario's father.
Yeah.
I did know...
I think that was a good decision, having him play Mario's father.
And also some Toad, who tells him to blow on the tells the Toad to blow on the cartridge if it doesn't work. If you know the reference, then that means
Yeah.
It's
not even that old. Like fucking not like everyone knew to blow in like the cartridge slot in the DS and stuff like that.
Donkey Kong did the Seth Rogen laugh. That's all I needed to hear.
Some people were speculating that Toad is meant to basically become Captain Toad later on.
I mean, they did play the Captain Toad theme when he was introduced.
That's cool.
Toad was probably my favorite character in the movie. Jack Black as Bowser is hilarious. There was a scene where he was proposing to Peach, and then it turned out to be Kamek dressed in a Peach costume, and then someone walked in on them. And I was like, wait, that's Kamek's disguise from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. That was my first Nintendo game ever. The DK rap was in the movie. Mario Kart theme was pretty cool. Donkey Kong was funny. The Jack Black song was a sight to behold. It's something you have to see to believe. My sister's just listening to it on repeat on Spotify for days. It is beyond the joke.
I always find it funny how like immediately people were like, the Peaches can actually be at the Oscars.
It better be a fucking nomination. I know the Academy hates animation. Come on, it's Jack Black. Mamma mia. And of course, Nintendo has said that if the Mario movie is successful,
which it definitely was,
they are interested in producing more animated movies.
And that immediately left off to people like thinking, how would like a Metroid or a Zelda movie like play out?
They can have Link's voice be his inner monologues. That's fine.
I'll say this: out of any like Nintendo game that would probably work well in a movie format, it's probably Metroid.
Yeah. Seth Rogen is
especially because most Metroid games are deliberately designed to be basically beaten in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Seth Rogen is interested in doing a Donkey Kong movie. Charlie Day is interested in doing a Luigi's Mansion movie.
Shit, I'm interested in a Luigi's Mansion movie.
He said that last year, but very recently reiterated his interest. Saying, yeah, like, hey, call me up, I want to do Luigi's Mansion. And I feel like there's definitely going to be a Mario movie too at some point in time.
Yeah. Since they took like the plots of essentially like the first like few Mario games and Odyssey into one, I wonder what they would do for a second one. 64 maybe?
Galaxy? Sunshine?
Maybe they'll follow up on that whole like Peach's backstory thing.
Maybe.
I see some people speculating that like
introduce Daisy, Rosalina.
Yeah, through that whole backstory thing because like some like guys outright call Daisy her cousin. So maybe it'll be like they find her original home and like Daisy's the princess there.
Yeah. So actually, someone at my theater I watched it in was wearing a full Daisy costume.
Oh yeah, no, on opening night, right?
Yeah.
There was an entire group that came in with a bunch of costumes. I even saw a Gino there.
Gino from Mario RPG?
Yeah.
The one character people want in Smash, even though nobody's actually played this game?
Yeah.
Owned by Square Enix instead of Nintendo due to complicated legal bullshit?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I saw most of like
yeah.
But like most of the Mario cast there.
Funny. I've seen TikToks of it. Like 20 tickets to the Mario movie, please. It's an entire game.
They had a lot of cosplay in like the first like opening week.
Just wait for the FNAF movie. Anyway, yeah. I do wonder again, if Nintendo will stick with just Illumination for their movies, or if they will work with other studios as well.
The thing is, didn't they say that they kind of want to have like an animated universe, like
Multiverse?
like a Cinemaverse?
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, they asked for an actual like endgame pool. Yeah. Which, let's be honest here, it's almost certainly going to either work on the Subspace Emissary or World of Light stuff.
Yeah. Even Chris Pratt and Charlie Day have mentioned Nintendo Cinematic Universe is coming. And they would happily reprise it really hard.
I mean, yeah, who wouldn't want to be part of a cinematic universe that involves Nintendo?
Though, one issue, if they do this, the film rights to Pokemon are currently held by Warner Brothers for at least 30 years. Until the 2040s. Thanks, because they put out Detective Pikachu.
Was that film rights for live action or just film rights period?
Film rights period. It was going to be distributed by Universal, as with Mario, but for some reason they switched over to Warner Brothers. So, either they're going to have to work out some deal between the two companies.
Which, honestly, imagine that, a cinematic universe that actually, like...
spans multiple companies.
Yeah, that would actually be impressive.
Throw Sonic in there, those movies are made by Paramount. Damn. Leave Sony out of it. I actually remember, there was...
Sony is like the one you're guaranteed to not want to play nice than Disney.
Sony was actually trying to get the Mario movie rights for years, but then they fell through after the infamous hacking 2014.
Yeah, but that same hack also revealed that Sony, like, infamously just are complete assholes to the people who work under them.
True. Yeah. I remember when that, like, got out, people were like, what? How is that gonna work? Sony and Nintendo are like, their biggest rivals in the gaming industry. Even though Sony Pictures and Nintendo have worked well in the past. For example, of all movies, Pixels had Donkey Kong, that was under Sony. So, Nintendo and Sony Pictures get along just fine. Nintendo and Sony Interactive?
The thing is, Nintendo, like, Sony Pictures is just straight up a completely different subsidiary from Sony. They feel no, like, worry about that because in general, that's not the thing that they do.
Yeah, I also... More on Sony in a bit, but I also remembered, there was going to be a live-action Mega Man movie in the works at 20th Century Fox, but it was cancelled after the Disney buyout because Disney didn't think it would be good. And then Netflix picked it up and it was happening again.
Not gonna lie, Disney might have been onto something there.
And thanks to that, Disney also canceled movies based off Spore and Sims, and a sequel to Assassin's Creed.
So yeah, they basically cut loose literally every single terrible decision that could have been made with one of these movies.
Yeah.
Because seriously, do you honestly think any of those could have worked? At all?
Sims movie? No.
Spore?
That was going to be at Blue Sky and then beyond the last Assassin's Creed movie sequel.
The first one is so forgettable, I forget that it even happened all the time.
It was still in development until the Disney buyout, and they were like, no.
Like, you want to know how weird it is that I forget it? Like, I think you might have seen an Assassin's Creed pin in... No, Eric might have. But basically, there's an Assassin's Creed pin that we have. And that was because it was like a promotional thing for the Assassin's Creed movie, which we didn't even watch. They just gave it away.
It came out around the same time as, like, within the same weekend as Rogue One, which definitely had a performance. It also came out the same day as Illumination Sing.
So basically a time in theaters where I just straight up didn't go.
Yeah, lots of competition. I think that movie's on Disney Plus now, actually, which is kind of funny to think about.
Which one?
Assassin's Creed.
If it's not on Disney Plus, it's on Hulu.
Let me double check. not on Disney Plus. Thought it was.
Remember, they also have like a majority stake in Hulu.
Yeah.
So anything that doesn't show up on like Disney Plus is on Hulu. Where do you think all their anime like licenses go?
Hulu.
Well, yeah, I say that because
now.
in other countries they don't have Hulu; they just have Disney Plus. So
It's not on Hulu.
they might have just written it off.
Maybe.
That's not even a joke, by the way. On other countries, you'll find the Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War arc anime on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I know that. At least until Disney's going to take full ownership of Hulu next year, Comcast is going to sell it back to them. Whatever stake they have, and I'm pretty sure they're just going to merge Hulu to Disney Plus by then.
But to be honest, here it was a long time coming, and in general, consolidating all these stupid streaming services is probably for the best.
Yeah. Even before he was kicked out, Bob Chapek was like, "Yeah, Hulu and Disney Plus would make sense. We just need to get the right stake back from Comcast."
It's basically this Disney's second streaming service, anyways.
And now that R-rated content is allowed, thanks to digital,
There's no reason not to just open it.
we're gonna get Family Guy on Disney Plus.
And since it was already there.
Yeah. We're gonna get Alien on Disney Plus. I also remember the Garfield movies were owned by Disney. They just a buyout. Now I don't know how to feel.
I do know how to feel.
You hate one.
I'm working Monday, so yeah. That means I work tomorrow.
Speaking of Sony being stupid, another funny update on the Microsoft Activision buyout. This news gets dumber every day. Recently, the British regulators recently updated their provisional findings, saying that no, the buyout will not affect console competition. And Sony got pissed at them, calling them irrational and unprecedented. Something like that.
Yeah, that's the way you act when you don't get what you want.
Yeah, and Sony was like, if Microsoft could intentionally release a buddier version of Call of Duty on PlayStation just to spite us, and they went on the record saying, if Call of Duty, specifically Call of Duty, is buddier on PlayStation, it will permanently damage the PlayStation brand, and we will never recover from that. You just imagine the people working on like God.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, man? And then they tried saying that Call of Duty people are passionate. Call of Duty gamers are knowledgeable, passionate, and basically the most intelligent people known to man.
So we're just gonna ignore the fact that in the gaming community and even outside of the gaming community, in general, being known as a Call of Duty player is kind of like an insult, just purely on the basis that you're basically treated as like those types of people who are explicitly like those macho frat boys who only really care about killing and...
Sophisticated, that's the other word.
Huh?
Sophisticated was the other word they used. Call of Duty gamers are passionate, knowledgeable, and sophisticated.
Call of Duty gamers are quite literally the butt of the joke when it comes to most like game communities, because more often than not, the only types of games that the types of people who only buy Call of Duty play are the types of people who would willingly just buy like FIFA games year after year. I mean, it's not like completely accurate. Most gamers will play Call of Duty just because, you know, that game can be fun. It's just the stereotype is there for a reason, and that's because in general, it feels like more often than not, if your main go-to for entertainment is Call of Duty, your main goal for entertainment is just killing. The multiplayer in Call of Duty is just that. There's no other major thing going on. And there's a reason why a lot of Call of Duty players don't even try to hide around it. It's just like, yeah, no, the entire point of this game is just to shoot each other.
Yeah, and that statement in particular got widely mocked on the internet, saying, yeah, they're the most intelligent people. Totally. And another. Also, the deal has been officially given the go-ahead in another country, that being Japan.
Yes, famously, the land of Sony's fucking monopoly.
Yeah. Japan has officially given its approval, saying it will not harm competition. What is seen as a big L for Sony. All around the world. The World Wide Web. And, and then, now, the U.S. government is trying to probe into Sony, revealing some of their own anti-competitive practices. And now, the Japanese government is going to do the same thing. A U.S. senator wrote a letter to the CEO of Sony, and by that, I don't mean the CEO of Sony Interactive. I mean the CEO of the entire Sony Corporation. They're fucked. They're fucked. They brought this to themselves. And also, remember the Gamers lawsuit that happened? The Gamers decided to refile the lawsuit to try to stop it. Sony is actually providing documents to them that will help them prove their case.
Yeah.
The Gamers tried to get Nintendo to subpoena for them. Nintendo straight up told them no. Actually, Doug Bowser himself told them no.
CEO of Nintendo, Mr. Bowser, will always be amazing.
Yeah, Nintendo said no, and is one of the companies that are on board with the deal going through.
Well, Microsoft has promised that they'd be getting it. Which, you know, more than fucking Activision.
They legally have to if this deal goes through.
Let's be honest here. Chances are it'll have to be cloud gaming. And as
they've explicitly stated it's going to be native ports.
Weird.
Nvidia, who was one of the deal's biggest opposers initially, is now one of the biggest supporters after Microsoft signed a deal with them.
Probably because they wanted they were worried it wouldn't be available on the Nvidia Shield or something like that.
Yeah. Take-Two, who owns Rockstar and 2K, is on board with the deal.
Basically, anyone who's anyone in the industry knows this deal's probably for the best. If only just because of the fact that in general, Activision needs like something to like keep afloat.
Yeah.
If it's literally being owned by the mega like corporation known as Microsoft, well, it'll just have to do.
And Sony was like, well, they can't trust. They say they can't trust Microsoft by pointing to their acquisition of Bethesda and ZeniMax. Most notably, Redfall was recently revealed to have a canceled PS5 version after the buyout, which the developers have actually said they consider that to be a good thing. It means they have to worry about optimizing it less. So it's going to be Xbox PC only. And Sony latched onto that last year, of course. And they say how Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be Xbox exclusive when only the milk platform for that game.
It hasn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Elder Scrolls is too big for serious games. And Sony even once again responded to the argument that Microsoft owns Minecraft, a game that is available on PlayStation and Nintendo. Sony was like, well, Minecraft's a game with blocky graphics. Well, they did say that. Whereas probably the most realistic graphics known to man, with technical capabilities for consoles. That wasn't their main argument. Their main argument is that Minecraft's a single game which you can buy once for lifetime access, whereas Call of Duty comes out every single year, for better or worse. And people constantly pay for that every year. At this point, Sony's just gonna spread it. And what's kind of funny is that a bunch of Bethesda games recently got added to the PS Plus service thing. Which,
It doesn't make their argument look great.
yeah. And Microsoft has even said they can put Call of Duty on PS Plus if they want. So it's like, no, that's gonna give us money. You know Call of Duty funds our first-party game development.
Which, again, real dick move to say about, like, the reason people buy your console.
I mean, Sony's a billion-dollar company pissing off a trillion-dollar company, so this was never gonna end well. And I see people already talking about, wow, what's Microsoft gonna buy next? People are already talking about Microsoft's next big acquisition, like after Activision. I see people throw around Sega a lot to be bought out by Microsoft.
But if Sega was going to be bought out by any company, it was probably going to be Nintendo.
As Nintendo buys out other companies.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
That's the joke. Sega, I think, has way too much pride to ever actually allow itself to be bought out.
Yeah. I also see people throw around Ubisoft a lot.
Actually, technically, Nintendo does buy companies, but only, like, after they've been second-party developers for years.
Yeah.
Basically, the only way for you to be bought up by Nintendo is for you to already have a long history of Nintendo.
Or make a porn parody.
Yeah, but that's mostly the to silence you.
Yeah. I also see people throw around Ubisoft, which, if it makes your games good, then sure. It won't. I see people throw around EA. I don't think Microsoft would be allowed to own Activision and EA. I see people throw around Square Enix, all companies. They're too stubborn.
Then Square has way too much connections to Sony.
Yeah. I mean, Activision had a lot of connections with Sony.
Yeah, but Square more so.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the equivalent of, like, thinking that, like, freaking, like, the Pokemon Company International could be bought out.
Pretty sure Nintendo has a selfish stake in that.
Yeah, that's why I said.
And Game Freak and Dreamers.
Just in general, one of those, like, companies that are just way too entrenched with other companies.
Yeah.
That is Square. There's a reason why most of their shit is, like, explicitly, like, Sony, like, exclusive for the longest time. And the only reason that's changed is because they've been managed to get pissed off. Not by much, mind you, because of the fact that, like, Square Enix itself is, like, going through some fucky phases.
NFTs.
But, like, yeah, no. Like, Square has a long history with two companies, and that's
Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
There's a reason why when they're being pissy about, like, Sony, they start doing, like, timed exclusives for Nintendo. It's basically the equivalent of going back to an X. And even then, it's basically the equivalent of going back to an ex that you had, like, a breakup that wasn't even that bad. It was just kind of mutual.
And now the U.S. government is even pressuring, accusing Sony of, like, paying companies to keep games off Xbox forever.
Which they do.
Final Fantasy VII Remake,
It's actually blatantly opposite, too.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake was one that was thrown around. Even though that game is on PC now. And a big feature Microsoft's pushing now is that they want to give people more choice on what system they should play on. Sony just wants people to play on their system. Ooh. Bye. Overall, it's dumb. And regarding Microsoft's next buyout, I don't think they'll be allowed to. I don't think they're going to go after or be allowed to purchase another big publisher for a long time. Especially given how much flack this buyout's getting. Thank you. I don't think Microsoft's going to be going after a big publisher again anytime soon.
Yeah, they're going to be buying out. I think it's going to be like a small. Like,
yeah, they'll stick to what they were doing pre-Bethesda. Like,
get small companies that aren't really like that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, they got Rare, Mojang, Obsidian Entertainment.
To be fair, though, the Rare buyout was like a misplay from Nintendo.
Yeah, Activision almost bought Rare, but Microsoft beat them at the last minute. And now Microsoft's buying Activision, so no matter what, Rare would have been under Microsoft. It's funny how things turn out.
I mean, it only happened because Nintendo themselves decided that Rare weren't worth keeping around.
At least Microsoft's playing late.
That's presumably because they're both used to Sony being total assholes to everything.
Yeah. And
that in general, it's blatantly obvious at this point that Nintendo and Sony are Nintendo and Sony are like have so much bad blood that it's almost certainly never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But Nintendo and Microsoft, there's a difference there. Nintendo very much is not playing the same game as Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like, it's not playing the same. They're not playing the same game as Sony either. It's just Sony has like so much vitriol towards Nintendo thanks to the whole origin of how they even started up. That like the history just keeps it from ever from them to ever working together properly. But like Microsoft doesn't have that level of like bad blood between each other with Nintendo. And like I mentioned, they're just straight up not playing the same game.
Yeah.
Nintendo is like king in handhelds. Their main markets are, while being like Japan, is also the other like form of like video game players. Basically, children, young adults, and people who aren't into the main demographic that is Microsoft.
Yeah.
You know, like hardcore, frat bro type deals. Like the type of people who unironically like eat Doritos and Mountain Dew without realizing that the most people like do that stuff explicitly because it's a joke.
Yeah. I mean, I like Doritos.
Yeah. No, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Like the whole joke of like gamers who eat Doritos, Mountain Dew, MLG Pro, and all that shit.
Yeah.
Microsoft's entire shit is like completely American.
Yeah.
They have zero presence in Japan, let's be honest here.
And now there's concerns that Sony is sabotaging that presence in Japan, so they're going to be looking into that.
Yeah. But the other thing is, they both have consoles on the market, but their consoles are completely different. Nintendo sacrificed like performance ever since the GameCube because they realized going for that entire market's just completely out of the question at that point.
I mean, GameCube was on par with PS2.
Yeah, no, I said after the GameCube.
You said since the GameCube.
Yeah, no.
Although the GameCube didn't have the smaller discs.
No, it was since the GameCube explicitly because of the fact that the GameCube failed.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a failure entirely, but it wasn't the success that they needed. The Wii proved that they have a niche, and that niche is underpowered, like, family-friendly and all that. But more importantly, it's a niche that no one else is doing. And every other attempt to attempt it has failed.
Connect.
Yeah.
PlayStation Move.
Yeah, like, their niche is basically just doing unique ideas while also, like, just dominating the handheld market. It's not even a monopoly because, in general, the handhelds are basically just half of, like, what goes on with gaming.
Yeah.
To the point where the Switch is currently one of the best-selling consoles of all time.
I think it's the third best.
And it is still selling.
And it just needs to surpass the DS and PS2 to be the best.
Yeah. And considering how almost certainly the successor console is going to be a sequel to the Switch, it might honestly just be, like, a straight upgrade that still counts to those sales.
If it does count, then yeah, it's going to be the best.
Yeah. But, like, the thing is, Microsoft doesn't have to worry about anything related to Nintendo. Their core demographic is the complete opposite of what they have. Microsoft has a console, but it's always been much more, like, powerful than whatever Nintendo has at the time.
Yeah. Pretty sure the Xbox Series X is the most powerful console at the moment.
And there's a running trend with gamers, specifically PC gamers. The ones who refuse to emulate always basically have the same mentality. All you need is a PC and whatever Nintendo console's on the market. Because, yeah, that's accurate. All you need is a PC and, like, a Switch, and you're basically golden on all games. Yeah. Nintendo will never release their shit outside of Nintendo, outside of maybe the occasional mobile game, which, by the way, I think that, like, we brought this up, like, the whole DNA thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That even shows, like, Nintendo having an idea that nobody else is doing in the console wars. Yeah. They're aiming towards the mobile game now.
I've always joked that if Nintendo does release on PC, it will be New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and nothing else.
Like, their entire strategy is, we're just gonna run parallel to whatever the fuck is going on with the main console war now.
Yeah.
So, in reality, the actual console war is the Xbox versus the PlayStation. Because Nintendo is playing a completely different game now.
Yeah.
There's a reason why their success hasn't really done anything towards anything else. And that's because, as I mentioned, Microsoft has PCs. They can afford to lose on the console war. Sony does not, which is why they have to do so much shady shit to keep their dominance.
And now that shady shit's firing back on them.
Yeah.
Hard.
Microsoft has realized that we don't have to lose at the same time. So, along with that and the fact that they want to, like, secure the rights to PC stuff, like, in reality, the reason that they're wanting to, like, even get Activision was for King, and that's because they saw from Nintendo's point of view that, yeah, actually having a stake in the mobile market is profitable.
Yeah, and King makes Candy Crush, which is, like,
one of, if not the most, like, profitable, like, mobile game out there. I say one up because I think one of the Chinese ones is even more profitable.
Yeah.
And that's because that game deliberately, like, demands microtransactions at every turn.
Genshin Impact.
No, Honor of Kings, I think it was. Like, that League of Legends clone. But yeah, they literally saw that like, Nintendo has a stake in the mobile games industry, and that stake is proving so much dividends that Nintendo is straight up just forming a new company with DNA for mobile games exclusively. This is basically the one time Nintendo is actually putting things out in something else. And that is why Microsoft wants Activision. Because they realize that market is completely unexplored by the main consoles, and there's so much competition that no matter how big you are in the console market, if you have some stake in the mobile market, you can't be accused of actually having a monopoly there. So you're allowed to just have money being made there.
Yeah. Alright.
So yeah, all the stuff that Microsoft and Nintendo like have like basically mean that their relationship between each other is completely solid. They have no actual issues against each other at this point. Their main thing is we just have to like keep it going.
Yeah.
Sony, on the other hand, has so much bad blood with Nintendo that they'll basically never work with each other outside of like movie stuff because Nintendo has literally zero stakes in that stuff.
MLB The Show comes to Switch.
Yeah. That actually kind of proves it right there. The one thing that they're willing to give, a sports game.
That's because the MLB is forcing them to.
Yeah. Quite literally. The only thing that they've given to Nintendo on a gaming level is quite literally a game that they were forced to give away. And from what I remember, the port wasn't even that great.
I mean, it's a Switch game.
Yeah. Like, so, yeah, you ever wonder why they have, like, issues with... Microsoft can make the game intentionally buggy.
You know...
Look at MLB The Show!
You know, right around the time they said that, the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1 came out, and it was riddled with bugs.
Yeah.
And they were getting a lot of flack for that.
And you have to, like, put into question... Are those bugs and issues actually like an issue because of the console, or is it because Sony deliberately fucked with it?
Well, now that the governments are looking into it,
one might find out.
That'll be a fun day.
Basically, Sony has alienated everyone in the industry. They've always had issues with Nintendo, so that was a non-starter from the start. Microsoft is basically just being dragged through the ringer here, explicitly for no reason other than Sony says no. And even then, they're winning. Like, Microsoft is legitimately winning. So, Sony's fucked on this front, and it's almost certainly ruined basically most of their connections with Microsoft. And Sony has deliberately gone out of their way to piss off every single Japanese like gaming company out there that they can. Because they decided to say, fuck it, the actual market's in America. That's why they're no longer a Japanese company anymore. They're American now.
The entire Sony corporation is going to get on their case about it at this point. Like the higher-ups at the Sony. Yeah. The conglomerate.
Essentially, no matter what, this is going to be a lose situation for them.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, will it be a lose-lose situation or a win-lose? Because Microsoft can pull a win here. They can pull a lose too, because they might Sony might be good enough to bribing people to like keep it like eternally locked away. But in general, the rest of the gaming industry is saying just fucking let them have it because no one really gives a shit about Call of Duty.
Sony does, apparently.
Sony does because they want a monopoly on exclusivity. That is what they want. They want to be able to have that whole timed exclusivity thing, because that is what's keeping them afloat. The PlayStation 5 has no games because they've pissed off most of the people who do make games, or the games that they haven't pissed off are currently still in development, because, oh yeah, they kind of rush these things out. Sure, they don't look rushed out, but let's be honest here. What are their actual, like, improvements here? The PS5 is a glorified upgrade.
The same could be said about the Series X and S.
The only benefit that the Series X and S have is that at this point, the cloud gaming services from Microsoft have, like, just completely supplanted even needing a console.
Xbox is the only console you don't need to pay for cloud saves, actually.
Yeah, quite literally. Their entire shtick is now cloud gaming.
And you can transfer them back and forth with the PC versions with ease.
Having Game Pass will allow you to just play the Xbox games on the PC.
Yeah.
Kevin has Game Pass, and he doesn't have an Xbox.
Because there's PC Game Pass.
Yeah. And they're basically one and the same.
Yeah.
Essentially, the Xbox Series X and S are there not for any real reason. They're just there to basically be the cloud box. The PS5, like I mentioned, is a glorified upgrade. It doesn't really do much. The only real major things is they got rid of some things like theming, but they also upgraded the performance, power, and just download speed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have enough games to classify as an actual mainline console if you really stop to think about it. Every single thing that they have is on the PS4, and they've had to restart PS4 production because the PS5 is so goddamn hard to get.
Yeah.
I think the only mainline console you can actually call an upgrade is the Switch, because the Wii U was such a goddamn mess. And even then, the Switch has been out for so long that it's not only older than the other consoles, people are constantly asking, where's the upgrade?
Soon-ish, I don't know. Next year, maybe?
To be fair, it's basically all but said that Tears of the Kingdom is seemingly Nintendo's last main thing before an upgrade.
Huh.
Because people have noticed that there isn't really a lot of games coming out for
that is true.
For the Switch, from the mainline stuff.
That's true.
Which might mean that they're going to be putting all their attention from here on out on upgrading the Switch.
Hopefully. The Switch wasn't in the last 10 years. It needs an upgrade.
But yeah, that's the current state of the console wars. The Xbox is basically just glorified cloud gaming, which, good on them. They put in the work and effort that it actually works.
Yeah.
Logan straight up played most of his gaming through cloud gaming while on his trip to Virginia.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah. Sony's doesn't do shit. And in reality, it's basically a status symbol. The Switch is dominating the console war because they're not even playing the same game. They're playing a hybrid console where the entire shtick is Nintendo decided that their only major strength is handheld gaming, so let's make the console a handheld gaming console.
Does that work?
And it did. It paid so much off. They're currently having the third best-selling console of all time. That's still on the market. The only things above it are the PS2, something so laughably legendary, and honestly, something that also has an inflated number, because in reality, a good chunk of those sales were because people needed a cheap Blu-ray player.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was DVDs, not Blu-rays.
Yeah, DVD. Fuck yeah, a cheap DVD player. The PS3 was the Blu-ray player.
Yep.
And the Nintendo DS. The fucking holy grail of handheld consoles. If Nintendo could beat its own ass when it comes to something that people view unanimously as basically the best handheld experience, they've won. Technically, they have already won. The console wars is stalled because it's impossible to get most of the stuff, and the one thing that is possible to get is the Switch.
I've seen Xbox Series S's in stores a lot.
Yeah, but that's because Xbox is quite literally just the digital console now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual physical console war. How many people do you see having the Xbox but with the digital the physical one?
I've seen a couple in stores. Every now and then.
Yeah. I've seen a PS5 at Costco. That doesn't change the fact that for most people these consoles are way too expensive and they don't have enough of an actual library to be worth it.
Yeah. The
Nintendo Switch, on the other hand, is literally a third of the price of the PS5.
$300 versus $500.
I thought it went down to $200. I've seen 200 ones.
Oh, Switch?
Yeah.
Switch Lite is $200.
Yeah. The Switch Lite counts for the Switch.
Then that is $200, yeah. Switch OLED, I think, is $400.
No, it's $350.
$350. I was gonna say that.
Because I've actually seen Kevin owns a Switch OLED.
Yeah, I wasn't certain.
Yeah, in general, the only thing people who are on Nintendo's core are waiting for now is an upgrade, and that's because if it's not that, it's the Steam Deck. Which, let's be honest here, not everyone's gonna get, because who the fuck wants to buy something called the Steam Deck?
Not me.
Like if you're already putting all your money on Steam, chances are you're just gonna use a fucking PC. The Steam Deck will sell well, and they'll probably be like Nintendo's only competition for the whole handheld market. But that doesn't change the fact that when people think handhelds, they think Nintendo.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll think of PSP, but those are dead. Sony abandoned that section a long time ago. And that is our rant on this stuff. I should not have literally paused the game for it.
Try again. He belongs to neither the light nor the dark. But
in terms of a buyout, I think Microsoft would. If they go for another publisher, it would be Ubisoft.
Catching on now.
So we can see how much Sony will Assassin's Creed, and how, even though those games are mid.
It appears we have much in common.
Fucking Call of Duty is mid for the most part.
Assassin's Creed is more mid.
Yeah.
Like you said, there really is darkness left inside of me. But so what?
And in terms of
Darkness is my enemy. And so are you reeking of that awful smell.
in terms of companies saying like a foothold in the mobile gaming marketplace,
I shall take you on.
there was a report by the Wall Street Journal that Rovio Entertainment, the creators of Angry Birds, is in talks to be acquired by Sega for about $1 billion.
That makes sense. Sega literally has an entire they were the ones basically keeping fucking. I was gonna say that Sega quite literally has kept the fucking arcades alive. It makes sense that they think that the next step forward is just straight up mobile games. Because let's be honest here, mobile games are basically arcade games.
Pretty much. The only mobile game I really play is called Clash of Clans. These days. Apparently people think that Microsoft is going to try and buy Netflix next.
Do you hear yourself?
Yeah. I mean, they could probably afford it.
They probably could, but let's be honest here. Do you honestly think they want it?
Who knows? I've seen weirder things. People have pointed out with Sony being a crybaby over Microsoft, Netflix wasn't a crybaby over Disney buying Fox. And one of the reasons for that buyout was explicitly to boost their Disney streaming services. Netflix didn't cry. So why should Sony? Also, update on.
I know we're technically basically saying just accept the monopoly, the fucking mega corporation becoming even bigger, but in reality, let's be honest here, fuck Sony.
Yeah. On another topic, I've been in school.
There is a darkness of formidable power growing. Well worth the trouble of aggravating you.
I decided to drop out of Spanish class.
What?
Because I was oversleeping for the entire thing. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
So now I literally only have one class, and that's video production. That's on... which is on Wednesdays, so now now Wednesday is literally the only day of the week I'm unavailable. It's not like we don't do anything with that. We already have Sundays.
Yeah. Technically, you can maybe call him Kevin at one point.
I could. Been thinking about it recently. But the reason I haven't is just because I am lazy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that this was a good stopping place.
Yeah. Also, my throat is very sore.
Nah, not just that, but because we just literally beat Monstro.
Yeah.
And Agrabah. By the way, you can see how much easier it was to to take on him.
Today. Holy hell! I really need to fill up a water bottle for Ace Attorney, or we could just jump into Persona 4.
Are we gonna do Persona 4 today?
Were we?
Yeah, we never really decided what we were gonna do outside of Ace Attorney.
We'll see when we get there.
I'm gonna just go ahead and order my food.
See ya.
My only message to you is buy the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, if only just so that Capcom will realize that yes, people do like the net timeline.